Welcome to Addis Ababa for the 15th edition of the Great Ethiopian Run. Well, this year will mark the official retirement of the great Haile Gebrselassie from middle distance running. He'll join the 37,000 mass field in Meskel Square to bid farewell to the athletics world. First, we get underway with the women's elite race. Well, against the mass background, of course, the women, the elite, 129 strong this field, and it is the breeding ground. Remember previous winners, Adiri, Kidani, and then the great Tiranish Dibaba, and of course Sula Utra, who runs in this race, who was winner in 2010, Kebeda, Ayelu. There's such a big talent. That looks like 3-4-3. That's Bethlehem Halu of the Tim Tesfa Athletics Club, who's taken an early lead. It's a speculative early lead. And the first half of the course pretty level, but the second half is quite a challenge. It's pretty uphill, and that will take its toll. Well, they're all closing in on that leader, as you can see. There's Meseret Beleti, 345 is there. Addis Arasa in that the tall figure in the black top is there as well. Satumi Asefa wearing 432. Zeleka is there as well, wearing 371. I can just picture her in the background, see her in the background. There's quite a good crowd out here. A race that began in, 2001, if I remember correctly, and that was the year in which the great Haile Gebrselassie, who is here, of course, to do his final event, his final race. And some of those names I mentioned earlier, having won this women's race and set their seal on the world scene eventually, are here to greet Haile Gebrselassie when he finishes. More about that in a moment, but certainly the lead by Addis Arasa at the moment. But of course, there's a big field, and this race has yet to emerge, most definitely. Well, Haile Gebrselassie is here, as I said, and the masses are here as well, and Haile will actually head these masses away. 37,000. Remember, this is at altitude. This is 8,000 feet. This is Africa's biggest 10-kilometer road race. And those happy faces, and there is the great man himself, Haile Gebrselassie, double Olympic champion, 4 times world champion outdoors, and of course he won indoor championships as well, over 1,500 meters. Such was the rain. Big field, it's broken away. The women, big bunch up front, led by Zeleki. She's a 34-minute, 10,000-meter runner, incidentally. The rest following. So much talent in this field for the future, that's for sure. The race still to emerge. Well, I just wonder whether Zeleki, as I said, 34 minutes over 10,000. Times don't matter here. Let me be absolutely certain about this. The times will be slower. They can't be compared with sea level. 4:33 is Verkinesh Alemu. She's a marathon runner. There are lots of marathon runners in here. And just looking at 4:35 there, just picking up 1 or 2. That's from Duma. Another name. There are so many names we haven't seen or heard before who will emerge from this race. Remember, Ayelu, Vude Ayelu, won this race 3 times, incidentally. She was the winner last year. But so often the big names emerge from here. Well, the men's mass start, and it's a huge elite field. The pushing and shoving, of course. And this is the race in which Haile Gebrselassie emerged in 2001. That was the first race. And guess who was in 3rd place? A gentleman called Kenenisa Bekele. And how well have both of those athletes did over the years. So this is meaningful. It's very meaningful. 100 or so nationalities, 4 big charities being run for here. And well, let's just check up with the lead women now. Zeleki, Elamu, Bekele, Abdikadir, and Asefa then leading this group. And you will see when the uphill part in the second half of this race begins, because it's quite noticeable. 4:32 is Satuma Asefa, incidentally. 4:33, that's Alemu. Just looking at 3:40, Belekelesh Daba on the left in the pink. So still no one yet to emerge from this race, and that's Tadalech Bekele, incidentally, 3:39 in the fluorescent green. Just over 10 minutes gone in this race, and there's well, one would expect a big field to emerge from the whole of that very large elite field, and then of course there will be those who will emerge from this group too. Easy running at the moment. When you come to Ethiopia, this is where the world's long-distance runners are made. This is from whence they emerge, and incidentally 377 there is Yegbirol Melesh, and a tall figure on the right. 311, well now 311 is known to us. That's Mamitu Dashka, and Dashka is quite an athlete. She was 8th at the World Cross Country Championships this year, the short race. She was the All-African Games champion in the half marathon too, but let's just look back. 37,000 massing to get away, and they can hardly keep them from running. It's a wonderful, wonderful scene. As I said, 100 nations or more here. The Tyne Bridge Harriers are here. They won the Great Run Series in Great Britain this last season. And this mass of humanity crosses the Mescal Park or Mescal Square and out into this course, and it is absolutely sensational to see. Well, let's have a look now at the men's race, and that is breaking up. That's breaking up quite nicely indeed. We'll see who is amongst the men here in this leading group, because it is quite a big field. Look how well they're sprung out. But this is the women's race again, and Daska, accompanied by Malays from the Defence Sports Club. In fact, Gromia Police is Daska's club, incidentally. And look at this, now they are starting to move away, and you can see it. Daska, Malays, Elemu, Telahun, and Asefa. And they are now moving uphill. You can see this. They're looking in the second half of the race now. It's probably just before the second half, and they're pumping up that hill, and this will test them. It's very, very solid indeed. I said about Daska, she's run 11 marathons, that's in 311. She's run 11 marathons in her career this far. She's finished in the top 5 in 8 of them, so there's real talent there. And what about Malays in the coloured strip, the green and red on the right? She won the Houston Marathon in January, setting a personal best of what? 2:30:23:33. Second in Chicago, so you've got real talent here in the form of Yegbirol Melesh of Ethiopia from the Defence Club on the right. We're in 3:77. These two look to me to be getting away. This, well, as soon as the uphill part came, they made their move, and it is a significant move, most definitely, and the rest are in their wake. As far as the men are concerned, well, Tola is leading that, and that is Tamalek Tola from the Omeo Police, so we've got 2 police team leading this race. His breakthrough came a couple of years ago, but more about that in a moment. And look at this, the stragglers coming through. Now, Haile Gebrselassie, we understand, will finish in bare feet, and that is to celebrate the feat of Baby Bekele. Remember him, the double Olympic marathon champion for Ethiopia, the father of Ethiopian running, won gold in 1960 in the Olympics, running barefoot. More about that soon. But now I think Malays is in second place, because just checking, there is the leader. There's Daska, and Daska looks very comfortable. Now then, what about her? Well, I read a little bit about her, and she thinks she's in shape to break Tiki Gelana, the Olympic champion's record, the Ethiopian record in the marathon at 2:18:58. Now this is obviously a build-up, and she's going to run Dubai. She's going to run Dubai in January next year. She's got 3 wins in Frankfurt, Houston and Dubai behind her so far, but look at this. An astonishing break now from Daska, and Daska is moving away. Now then, let's have a look and see what's happening at the lead men. And there's Getchev, Seboka, Helu, Dida, Tola, Mola, all there in that leading group. So 1 or 2 changes, and one would expect that at this early part of the race, and it's still to emerge, most definitely. But you've got Dida and Tola, as I said. But look, here we have, well, all of a sudden, the most incredible lead established by Mamitu Daska of Ethiopia. She first raced in the Great Ethiopian Run in 2005. On that occasion, she was 24th. Malays and Utura is there as well, Elibu and Michele. So that's the trailing group, and look how much they're struggling up that hill. Lovely flowing athlete, 12th in the world cross country in 2009. Remember, 24th in this race in 2005. So she knows the course, although it has changed from last year. It changed last year to make room for lots of building work on the original course, but they're back on the real course now. And the atmosphere absolutely sensational as the masses make their way. Well, this is now a man who looks good. Tamirat Tola of the Oromia Police, and he's leading. Dida in second place. That's Bonsa Dida wearing 130. Then Adugna Tekele, he's also from the Oromia Police. That club going nicely indeed. Wearing number 12 there. So, and Moller is just in front, wearing 197, isn't he? So Moller's in the third place position at the moment. He's an individual, he's not attached to any of the clubs. Personal 10K, 28.22, that was in Morocco in June. This year, All African Games 5,000 metre champion, incidentally, in 197, just in that purpley strip. But certainly Tola looks very comfortable, doesn't he? And Haile has still got the shoes on. Let me just say that when Abebe Bikela arrived in Rome for the Olympic marathon, he was a late entry as well, you know. They hadn't got a pair of shoes that would fit him, and so he had to run bare feet, and that was incredible. Of course, he won again in a new Olympic record in 1964. And with Haile celebrating his very last race in front of his home crowd here, of course, it's a magnificent gesture that he's chosen for his last race. Now then, what can you do? This young woman has totally and utterly dominated, well, from halfway really, and that looks a big margin. That could be up to a minute or so. Adaska, just looking again, 8th in the World Championship cross country in the short run this year. She won the half marathon All African Games Championship, and then set a personal best in the marathon in the Ras Al Khaimah at 66.27. That was in February. So she is definitely building towards that Dubai marathon in January in 2016. If she thinks she can break that 2:18.58 Ethiopian record, then that will be quite something. But that's how it happens in this part of the world. No change as far as the men are concerned. Tola in the orange strip is leading there, and Dida in the white, Tekele in the purple, and oh, sorry, yes, that's right. No, it's Moller in the purple and Tekele in the blue. So those the leading group at the moment, and it looks as though Bonsa Dida wants to take it on, actually. He was 4th in the World Junior Cross Country back in 2011, so we've seen him before. 14th in the World Half Marathon Championships last year, so he's pretty well on form. 14th in the World Cross Country over 12 kilometres this March, so that's the most current piece of form we've got, and he's a 60-minute, 19-second half marathon man wearing the white strip, so he's a real talent, isn't he? An absolute talent. Moller, another athlete running with no attachment, is up there as well, but certainly this is now down to just one athlete. And we'll say against the clock, although remember at the very beginning here, I said this is at 8,000 feet. This is a high altitude performance here. And to get close to, you know, 33, 32, 33 minutes for 10K at this altitude is pretty good, although one has to take into account they're born and bred here. And Mamadou Daska looks so comfortable. Haile Gebrselassie. A man who's won 2 Olympic titles, 4 world titles. He's twice Olympic 10,000 metre champion, something that Mo Farah will attempt to achieve in Rio de Janeiro this next year at the Olympic Games. But this man's achieved it, And when you're the world champion 4 times, and remember he's run indoors in his early days, over 1,500 meters and winning indoor titles, world indoor titles. Tola, Tekeli, Muller and Dida. Down to 4, and these 4 look as though they've got away, overtaking some of the trailing ladies now. Looking good. The race now is down, it would appear, to 4 athletes. So Tola, he's only run 2 marathons incidentally. The man leading at the moment. He won, he was his fastest debut incidentally was in last year in Dubai. 2 hours, 6 minutes and 17 seconds. So this is the man in orange I'm talking about now. And so he was 6th also in Jiangsu half marathon on the 19th of April. And that was a 60-minute half marathon. So here's another athlete who may well emerge from the whole depth of athletes that have shone here. Apart from Gebrselassie and Bekele, of course, we've had Sahinen, and he apparently is here to celebrate hailing Gebrselassie at the end of the race. But this is such an atmosphere. Look at that shot. It's wonderful. Some walking, some struggling, and just to reiterate, there are 4 major charities selected this year for the masses. So there's so much here. But can this young woman go forward to perform as Tiranish Dibaba did? Incidentally, Ganazeb Dibaba is also here at the finish. Of course, the world record holder now at 1,500 meters, that magnificent Diamond League race in Monaco this last year, 3 minutes and 50. Who would have believed it? Who would have believed it? But certainly, Daska, totally at ease with herself. Just coasting along now. Did the damage on the main part of the uphill just after halfway, and she'll soon be closing in on the finish. A couple of minutes or so to go, I would think, at the rate she's going and the way she's coming through towards the end of this race. A little glance over her shoulder. But still down to 4, and it looks as though Muller has just dropped off the back of that little group, but certainly Tola, wearing number 13, maintaining his lead. Oh, it's breaking down to 3 now, isn't it? It certainly is. Is that Tekeli in 3rd place, wearing number 12? I think it is. We'll have a closer look, but I know that's Bonsa Dida in the white strip, and I know that's Tamarat Tola, and it is, in fact, Adugna Tekeli. Now, what about him? He's only 20. But here we come. This is 2nd place now. Malays in this women's race. Yegrol Malays from the Defence Sport Club. What talent at the head of this race now. But you know, there's such talent in depth here. But we're down to 3 now. Tola, Dida, Tekeli. And Tekeli, as I said, in the blue, in 3rd, is only 20 years old. Best 10K, 27:30. That was in March in Morocco. You're on a half marathon world championship, 9th place last year, and he's just outside 60 minutes. So there's a talent, and he's a 2:8 marathon man. Just confirming the lead 3 and the rest. And Muller has had to give way. But this, look at the acceleration now as Mamitu Daska heads for the line. It's an astonishing piece of running, and you have to say that on this form, it's quick, pretty quick too, because she's close to the finish now. That's fast for 8,000 meters high, 8,000 feet high in altitude. Look at the way she's finishing. Just outside 32, 15, 16, 17 unofficial, but that's Mamitu Daska of the Oromia Police Club winning, and winning well. And the pedal now is down as far as Tola is concerned. Now, can Tola get away? In 2nd place now is Tekeli. And it looks like Dida in 3rd place in that white strip. These 3 have jostled for position for the last few kilometers. But now all of a sudden, Tamirat Tola, a man who broke through in the Hawassa half marathon a couple of years, 2.5 years ago. He dropped out. I was in Berlin last year watching the Berlin Marathon. He was one of the athletes that dropped out in that very, very fast race. It's the race where world records are taken apart year on year. Not this year, though, not this last year. But he's only run 2 marathons and looking forward to more, I would think. I saw him in Hengelo too, incidentally, in the 10,000 metres on the track. He was 6th in that race in June, so he's come from the track and before. And here we go, 2nd place then for Yegral Meles of Ethiopia with the Defence Sport Club. She's in 2nd place. I make that just over 50 seconds behind as the rest make their way. There's little opportunity to chase through the pack, I would suggest. But my goodness, and Haile Gebrselassie then has lost his 2 minders, highly on the front. The last chance that they will have to see this great man racing, he says this is definitely his last race. And a man who has given so much to the sport and is part of the Great Run process. Now then, Tola puts the pedal down and he's away. Look at the range on his stride. He's opened up a big gap. Tamirat Tola of the Omira Police has really broken this field and looks to me to have got away. Look at the pace he's going and stride he's using here towards the final stages. A terrific run indeed by him. He's away, and it's between Dida and Tekeli and Muller, I would think, for the places. But he's into that finish, and look at that. Tamirat Tola, 28.46. That's quick. That's quick. Oh, and it's Bonza Dida in 2nd place. And the white, he's come through, and that's Tekeli in 3rd. And Muller, I would think, will come into 4th place. He was close behind Tekeli. What celebration indeed. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And Haile is now barefoot. And let me remind you, the great father of Ethiopian Run in Abebe Bikila, double Olympic marathon champion, won gold back in 1960. And Haile said, I'm going to celebrate the start at my finish. Haile Gebrselassie finishes in a very respectable time indeed. Wonderful, wonderful athlete. What he's given to the sport is immeasurable. Haile Gebrselassie. There's the men's race result. Tola, Dida and Tekeli, 28.45. That was quick in the, you take the altitude into account, 28.50 and 28.54. And Mamadou Daska, 32.17 from Malays, 33.10. And Utura, who was, of course, winner in 2010, 3rd place in 33.44.
How close to the end of the race did he definitely know he had won?
I was kind of sure at 6 kilometers, but there were a lot of people better than me. When 1 kilometer was left, I was pretty sure I was going to win.
What does it mean to you to win this race in your own country, in your own city?
Yes, this competition is for me very important for future my race. It's very important for my life is good.
It's been an incredible journey. Did you ever believe it would last as long as it has?
No, I don't believe it that. I didn't expect even, just to be, to stay 28 years in running. Today is really, I'm happy. What can I say?
And you'll never stop running. You may have stopped competing today, but this will always be your life.
Exactly. Of course, this is my last race, but running is still is going. I don't stop running because, without running, I feel, I die.
Did you feel emotional as you headed towards the finish?
Yes, it is. Especially, when I see, the 2 champions to hold the banner. Wow, I'm a winner.
I'm very happy because Haile has been running for so many years and he's like a teacher to all of us. So it was a real honour for me to be holding the banner at the finish line.
Well, that's it then for the Great Run Series of 2015, but we'll be taking a look back at the year's action in our review programme coming up soon. And don't forget, keep up to date on our website, greatrun.org. But for now, from Addis Ababa and from Haile Gebrselassie, it's goodbye.
This is a very special occasion for all Ethiopians. This is an amazing experience. We love it.
The run was really tiring, but really fun. I had so much fun.
Wow!
I'm too fast now. Yeah, before I'm late, but now it's too fast. With her.